Okay, I'm Leonie's mother, and just recently we had a house in Lidditz that was like 4,500 square feet, and the boys had moved out, and we had a pool, we had a hot tub, we had like a garden area where you could go over into behind the gate of the pool, and we had a scooter that people could take down to Lidditz or within surrounding areas. So we were talking to the boys one day, and they had moved out, and we said, okay, we could actually, really what started with it, we did need some finances. We were at the point where, with them moving out, we had this big house, we had 5.5 baths, we have 6 bedrooms, and we're just like, we really could do something here. And they talked about Airbnb big time. Every time they travel, our boys are 23 and 24 right now, and they go to Airbnb and they talked about how much they loved it, and they kept saying, Mom and Dad, you need to do it. You need to start something at your house. You have the availability for it. So we went to Costa Rica on a vacation, and also we're getting our teeth done there. And we stayed at an Airbnb there. So we talked to the lady about it. And then we also were thinking of putting our house up for sale. So I'm like, how are we going to do both things at one time? How are we going to do this? And she said, hey, just put your house up for sale and put the price that you want for it, and then do Airbnb, and then just see what happens first. So July 13th, we decided to put our, Sean and Joshua, they come over every Friday night for our Shabbat night, and we have a family meal. And we were there talking about it, and Sean goes, Mom, Dad, you just need to do it. Let me just later on, let me just show you. It's real easy. You just get on Airbnb.com, and this is where I want to just start telling you about it. If you do ever want to do anything, don't let fear stop you. And that's what I have here first. Fear is your greatest enemy. Don't let fear stop you from trying new things or limit you and your vision. Because fear will try to tell you, oh, you don't know how to start it, you don't know how to research. I'm one that sometimes I'd rather just somebody else research it, you put the listing on, and then I'll just take it from there. Or then sometimes I'm one that does want to spearhead something, and I don't mind spearheading it. But in this case, it was great to have Sean. He got us started. He got the machine running, and then Steve got on, and Steve put our picture on. We had just taken pictures from our house to sell it. So we just put our house up for sale at the same time we're doing Airbnb. So we had all those pictures from each room that were professionally done already for us. And so let's go to the next one. Find someone who has already experienced what you want to do. Ask them questions or seek their help in going forward. So my sister-in-law, Heidi, it's John and Heidi Smooker, she was doing her basement on Airbnb. And so find someone that you can just rap with, you can just talk with, you ask questions, and even ask them, can you help me just get started? Airbnb is really easy. It shows you step by step of everything, how to do it. And if you don't know how to do it, you can call them, and there's somebody that would be there to help you, answer all your questions. And you need one room in your house. There's some people that rent out one room in their house and a bath, and they get money for it. So you'll have different ones, and I'll go to that a little later. So start somewhere. Conquer fear by going out and getting busy. There's a quote on your sheet there by Dale Carnegie. If you want to conquer fear, don't sit home and think about it. Go out and get busy. Because the more you think about it, the more you think, can I do this? Can I do this? You talk yourself out of it. Don't you? How many of us have done that? You talk yourself out of it thinking, oh, I don't know if I can do it. But if you get out there and talk to somebody who has already done it, let them stir you up. Let them get your heart and get your passion going with that. So you go to Airbnb.com, you just push the official site, and you have like 4 things you can do. You can become a host, you can travel and become, book an entire home if you're traveling. You can book a room in a home where the people still live there. Or you can actually host an experience. There's an Amish guy that does an Airbnb experience. He has a horse and buggy in the Lancaster area, and he takes people on a tour with his horse and buggy, and it's called hosting an experience. So you don't even have to post your home. You can come up with an experience that you put online, and then that's what you do. So we're going to start with creating your listing. So what I did was I had to get a good description of Steve and I, and Steve actually did this. He put the description of us and our family, which I will show you later on the other paper, what we wrote then. The wording of the area you live in is so important. You want to attract people to your place. So, of course, our pictures had, I would go from the back of the pool, show the pool and the hot tub to the big brick in the back, or, you know, and the house from the back. I did not do the house from the front. So that way, each listing had different angles of the pool, and that's the first thing they saw. So you want to find things in your home or around your home that you want to take a picture that's going to just lure them in. So pictures are very important. Check the cost of other Airbnb homes in your area and see what the cost is, and make sure, since you don't have any reviews, I had no reviews. So I wanted to get reviews quickly. So then I put my cost down lower than any of the other Airbnbs in my area. So that's something that's helpful. Your goal is to get reviews right at the beginning. So then you put guidelines and house rules down, and they will give you ideas. Airbnb is always like helping you with stuff like that. So you have like a checklist online. So we did no smoking, no pets. I like later check-in. When I go to places, I don't like checkout at 10 o'clock. It's just too early. So I did 11. And then I did check-in at 2. So I had plenty of time to clean if there's back-to-back people coming in. So when we first put our Airbnb on July 13th, we got a text the next day. And people wanted 2 rooms already on July 16th. And it just started. It just started rolling right away. And we're right in between Lidditz and Lancaster, so we made sure all that was on there. You want to have a time where they arrive by, and unless there's an exception. These are a bunch of little details I'm just going to quick go over. A key or combination lock, give good instructions with that. A phone number for them. What we did was we did instant booking. My phone number was on the booking. They don't get my phone number or my address until their confirmation is booked. And then they get that information. Airbnb really has a good system. I love the way they do things. Like, it was everything was so accurate, very well done. So what we did was, we did instant booking. I cannot believe how many people just all of a sudden decide they want to go somewhere. Well, I should know that because my boys do that, and we do that. But there's so many people that just decided, okay, I want to go to Lidditz, and it's like, we'll take instant booking. What that does, it has 70% more response. So we wanted to get quick reviews. So the only thing is, I wanted to be able to monitor those people who don't have reviews yet. So you are allowed to make it that you dialogue with people who don't have reviews first. So they're on this chat kind of thing where you ask them key questions. Like, oh, what's bringing you to this area? You know, thank you for choosing us. I'm just wanting to know, you know, what brought you to this area? Do you know people here? Whatever, and you chat back and forth for a little bit. So the questions you'll see down here, have you ever been to the area before? How many people are coming? One thing that I really noticed with people is, you ask how many guests there are, and some people did include themselves, and then they just told you how many are coming with them. So I learned that I had to ask them how many people, total people are coming, or then it won't get confusing. So back to the second page there, there's a real discerning with Airbnb. So as I'm chatting back and forth with certain people, Steve and I would talk about it. We would talk about our conversation. If they don't have reviews, one thing you can, you know, you can say, I'm sorry, and you can push do not accept. And then you write down why you didn't accept them so that they also see. They want the people who are be able to see why you didn't, and you can put in there because they didn't have reviews. You didn't have to say, I discerned I didn't feel good about them, and you know, all that stuff. So there was this, and prayer really helps. There was this one guy that he said he's coming for a wedding, and there was other people that same night that were coming for a wedding. 3 rooms that I had filled up that were coming for a wedding. So I'm like, okay. But yet I felt funny about him. Something just didn't feel right. And this time I said yes. And usually I would say no. We said yes. Steve and I decided to say yes. The day before he came, my communication with him, like I would always communicate with them, like the day before. Do you know about what time you're going to come? You know, and just have that communication there on ahead. He didn't communicate good. He didn't get back hardly till like later, hours later. I started praying. I said, Lord, I don't really feel good about this person. I pray that you would have something happen that he cannot make it to my house if he is not supposed to come to our house. And here, the night he was supposed to come, he said he has to come past 11, so he found out where the key was. Steve stayed downstairs in the living room. He just felt like he should. Well, he never showed up. And he never even communicated to me why. And I texted him and I said, I'm just wondering, you know, the room was never touched. It looks like you never made it. And he said, yeah, something came up, something bad came up and I was not able to come. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Thank you for answering my prayer. So we can pray too. If there's something that we didn't cover. 5 more minutes? Oh, okay. So, do I have 20 minutes till? Teddy's?
I have like 2 minutes by the time this is over.
A big thing is informing your guests, and you can just see the list there, what rooms they use. I had names on my rooms because I had painted rooms. So my one room was blue room, red room, burgundy room. So I was able to have all that. I had a basket of snacks, and I had flyers and brochures of the Lidditz and Lancaster area. And then I would have water bottles in there for them. They have, Airbnb has a cancellation policy. They have 3 you can choose from, flexible, moderate, or strict. So they already have all these things planned out for you, and you just have to read them, pick which one you want, and put that on your instructions. I love the payment plan. The payment plan was, you give them your bank account, and all the monies just go right from the guest right to your bank account. You'll get on an email showing when it's coming, and who it was for, and it goes right into your account. I didn't have to do anything in finances. No taxes were required. At this point, right now, the Airbnb and bed and breakfast are in court, and they are checking out, they're making more regulations and saying what all they can do and what they can't. I guess they have to come up with something for Airbnb, because many people.
I was saying, if you choose to start one in your area, you might want to check with your county, because our county, they found out somehow. I guess they look on Airbnb, and so then we got a note and say, hey, you owe us money too. So you gotta check it.
Yeah, check the regulations in your area, in your county first before you would ever start this. The township thing, yeah, check what they're, yeah.
Right now, Strasbourg does not allow, and they'll come in and shut you down.
Well,
I had friends
they
who
must
are
have
doing
changed
that.
them, because Strasbourg you were allowed if you lived in the house.
Oh, okay.
So there
They
might be
changed it
some
then.
area in Strasbourg you
Yeah.
can't, and some areas you can if you live in the house.
Okay.
So they are getting more strict on that, that
Yeah.
you have to live in the house now.
Awesome. Wow.
Yeah, because Bourbon
At
County
least they're
wanted
allowing it
to
at all.
do their rental property, and they couldn't, because they bought it for Airbnb, but they didn't live there, so they could not do that for their
Wow.
property. We had a basement that was like an apartment, had a kitchen, bedroom, and bath, and we started out with a standard fee of like $60 or $65, and then every additional person you can add $10. Later on, we sorry about the pool there. Later on, we added a cleaning fee to the, after we got reviews, we added a cleaning fee. So that was also very helpful to, you know, it didn't make it look like your price went up, but you just added a cleaning fee to it. Okay, I'm going to hand out this one now. I'm going to start sharing about this a while. The translation. There's people from other countries that come. So we had 6 to 7 countries, different countries, of people who came. So they will translate for you. On the text, it'll translate both ways. Superhost. I didn't know about Superhost till a little bit later, but I actually became Superhost in October. Started July 13th, ended October 7th, because we sold our house. So we had to be, October 26th, we had to be out. Every quarter, they check Superhost activity. And you have to complete at least 10 trips, 10 people coming in, or 3 long-term reservations that total 100 nights. You have to maintain a 50% review rate or higher, maintain a 90% response rate or higher, 0 cancellations. They're very serious about cancellations. You do not want to cancel unless it's an emergency.
It's expensive too to cancel.
Yeah.
Sorry?
It's expensive to cancel.
Yeah. Airbnb does everything for you. As far as schedule, you'll see all the stuff they do. They do everything. You can just look, I would just look at the blue room and it would show the person's face, if they had the face on their text. Everything comes on text. You have an inbox and text, everything comes in, check out, everything's right there on your phone, on the app that you do with Airbnb. The reviews are so important. So you want to have great communication. Clean rooms. You really want to have clean rooms. And you want to tell them all the rooms that they can come to, what they're allowed to do, what they can't do. We had a scooter that we had, actually, I'll show you later. We had a contract where they would have to sign our scooter contract, the radius of how many miles they can go within our house. It had all that stuff on there. You want to make sure that your communication, everything is covered, of what you have. You don't, with the reviews, if you look at the bottom here, I would not be able to see the person's review if I didn't fill one out myself and send it. So both reviews have to be done in order, and I think that's a really good safety rule. I really like that a lot. So
seems like Airbnb protects the customer and the host
Yes.
almost evenly.
So you always, when somebody wanted to come to our place, I would always check their reviews from other, and if they didn't have reviews, then I did that dialogue with them. Look in the back here of this paper. This is where it writes what we put as our description. I don't have a picture of us there, so, but it would have had a picture and a description. And when our house was listed, I kept a log, and I'll show you this afterwards. I kept a log of everyone, and with notes underneath. Like, say they were coming for a wedding, and they wanted to come back the next week for something else. Like, I would keep notes of people. So then I remember who they are if they come back again. People came back. We had people that, and then we had one lady that said, can I come and stay in your one room from Mondays through Thursdays? I live in Lewisburg. I come down and I work Monday to Thursday, and my weekends I go back home. And she was paying the price of the Airbnb every night. So we got, like, for one room and a bath connected, $650 a month from her. And she found us through Airbnb. So then she became a regular person that moved in, had like a little microwave, a little fridge, stuff like that. So then we have 43 reviews. They all were 5 stars. I became Superhost in October, and they sent me something else here in January that I'm Superhost, and I'm getting in a magazine, and I'm not even doing it anymore. I did get off the thing. So I don't know. So you'll see all the listing names down there of our 4 different listings that we had, and our Wi-Fi was, we called it Resort Living. And then I had 51 trips with no cancellations, 5.0 overall rating, 98% response rate. So I was really excited about the reviews because I had all good reviews, and that's something you're just really like, you're really rooting for that. I'm going to hand something else out here. This is the last handout. These are basic requirements for Airbnb. And I want to say again, this is a very easy thing to do if you wanted to do an experience or do a room in your house. But like, check the county, make sure everything's good with that. You'll see on the basic requirements for Airbnb, be responsive, accept reservation requests, avoid canceling, get positive reviews, and you'll see all the stuff that's under that. I won't go over it now. How many more minutes do I have? 2 or 5?
Zero-ish.
And you want to make sure that all your listing details are accurate. There was one time somebody said they smoked, and I really didn't want that person to come anyway. And I was glad to say we do not accept them because they smoke. There was some people that came and said, can I just go outside at the end of the pool and smoke at the end of the pool? And I said, if there's nobody and no other guests out there, we will let you do that. So we did let somebody do that. You want to make sure that your guests know how to contact you. Your phone number should be on there. That's another thing I think I already said. Oh, the accurate listing details. I provided soap, shampoo, conditioner, toilet paper, towels, washcloths. I made sure I got updated pillows. Like, you want to really have a place. You don't want to have ugly pillows, stained pillows. You know, you want to make sure that everything is good if you're going to have an Airbnb and run that. And it's really not that hard. You can go to dollar stores and many other places. So this is what I'll show you yet. Here is the list of stuff that I did. I put like the room. I put the room there, and you can look at it after the name, when they were coming, when they left. This all is on your calendar, but yet I like to see it down on paper and with my notes. I like to see that, so I kind of made up my own thing. This is when I became super host. You get a badge, you get to be in a magazine, you get all kinds of stuff with that. So special. So special. Not everybody should do this, but I did put this on the door. I put welcome to the Smucker home. Any questions, text Leona, and I put my phone number. Make yourself at home. Depending what neighborhood you're in, and you don't want them to really know that you have an Airbnb in your area, you don't want to make it real known. I wouldn't put this on your door. But we used to have cars around our house all the time. So to me it didn't seem different, except the neighbors would see them come in with their suitcases, go out, come in, different license plates.
Were you still living there?
We were still living there. We did it the whole time that we were living there, yeah. I really recommend that because I liked being there when they came, and I liked being there when they left. There was only a few times that I wasn't, that I gave them really good instructions, but I made sure I met them the next day. I don't know, just something with that touch. And we're finding out that some neighbors are getting really upset. My aunt, for one, she has all Airbnb all around her. She's in her 80s now, and all of them don't live there. And so just anybody's coming in, and it's a little creepy for her. So I think that's why they're upping the regulations a little bit. So if any of you decide that you want to try this or whatever, I am available to help you out. I'd be glad to just give you information and help you get started if you'd like that. But I loved every minute of it. Hospitality is one of my fun things. So that was, I did everything I loved. I had to clean my house anyway. So I got paid for cleaning my house, and I got paid for meeting people. It was the best scenario. I was in my element. I loved it. Anyway, thank you for listening. That's great.